All right, let's talk about my latest failure. Yeah.
You are Gumbo.
Like many people, sharing failures isn't always glamorous. It takes me a bit of time to step onto the pitch and share what went wrong. Now, I do it because not to put myself down or to be self-deprecating, although there is a sliver of that in there, but also to share that, listen, we all mess up, we all screw up, and it's how you respond to it. So let me share what I kind of muffed up. Last week I was on the West Coast and I did a whole series of walking and talking videos like this. I was pretty excited. I'm still new to these. And so far it seemed like the content was pretty good. And, the technical parts, like, is everything in focus and blah, blah, blah. But there was one video in particular I was looking forward to editing and putting out there. And that was the one where I was at the Vancouver airport. Now, the reason I was stoked about that one was because I was talking about all the events that were going on, namely that, how the flights were all being delayed or turned back, which happened to us because of the snow events here and also the incident at Pearson. And so I had some insights because I was going through some feels and there were some lessons there, and I thought it was really well done. And also the lighting was so good. Oh my gosh, such great lighting. From a technical nerd standpoint, there was a lot of other good things there. I had like some great B-roll, I had all that kind of stuff. And then when today, I said, okay, I've got some time, I can start editing this stuff. And that's when I noticed the big oopsie. As I was going through the footage, I noticed that some of them didn't have any sound. And they were very slow. And I realized to my horror that I had accidentally recorded some of my walking and talking bits in slow motion. Now, the problem with that is it doesn't record audio when it's in that mode. It just doesn't. So it's not like I can fix it in post, as they say. And I have no idea what I was saying. I don't read lips. I can't voice over that part. And so, to say the least, I was shattered. I was so bummed. Now, my initial thought was to say to myself, Paul, you putz, you goofball, how did you mess that up? But I didn't want to go there because it's easy to beat myself up. Been there, done that. I've Olympic gold medal in that. But I didn't want to go there. I mean, what happened was that I acknowledged that I was disappointed. I acknowledged that, I messed up, clearly. And I also acknowledged that it really wasn't the end of the world. And what's ironic is that in that video that I had messed up, I was talking about how a lot of things that may seem big or may seem awful really aren't in the grand scheme of things. In the grand scheme of things, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I didn't lose anything necessarily. I put so many videos out and everything. It's not a big deal. But there was a part of me that wanted to punish myself for that. And that's what I had to curtail. That's what I had to keep an eye on. And what's funny is me talking about this as I'm saying this out loud, it's almost like I'm getting to the core message of that other video, but it's like the universe wanted me, it was like a redo. It was like giving me a mulligan on that because maybe it was too long-winded. Which happens. I like to talk. But the core message was that you can't control what happens around you, but you can control your response to them. And so although I messed that up and, it was a bit of a flop, what I can control is how I responded to that. And that's what I did. I just made sure I wasn't beating myself up, that I wasn't name calling myself or getting into negative self-talk or getting to extremes like, oh, Paul, you always do this. You never, which is very black and white thinking. And I didn't do that, and I'm really proud of myself. What I also reminded myself of was that I made a deal with myself. And in doing this videography and photography, I made a deal with myself that I would keep an open mind, that I would have a beginner's mindset, which means I'm enthusiastic, I'm passionate, I love doing this. And it's not so much the outcome as it is the process. And so, yeah, I've lost a lot of photos and videos because they were out of focus, they were blurry, they were too dark, too bright. Sure, I could fix some things in post-production, but The key is that I'm learning and I get to play around. And so in that case, through that lens, no pun intended, I'm able to see that this is just a part of the process. This is just what it is. And there's so many amazing other things that are going to come that I'll create, that I'll do. Because creativity, it doesn't wane. Like, that's the muscle that I'm building. It's not necessarily having a particularly type of video library or whatever. It's just a process. And I'm in that process, and that's okay. And I'm going to fail again. I'm going to screw up something else. Maybe I'm screwing this up as we record this. I took the lens cap off, so at least I got that. But that's okay. And I share this because for many of you who might be in some sort of creative process or might be learning a new skill or trade or something, you're going to mess up. You're supposed to mess up. That's part of the process. That's the deal you got to make with yourself, or else you're going to be in a world of hurts because your ego and pride are going to get in the way and call you all sorts of names that you don't deserve. See, the key to failing is failing forward. And what I mean by that is that you are understanding that this is part of the process and also learning the lessons. So the question I asked myself in this was, what was the lesson? What was the gift in this? And two things came up. One is, again, it's not the end of the world. Make sure I double check my settings. Don't get rushed. Don't feel flushed when you're in public doing things. And second is, maybe I can salvage this. Maybe this is a way of pushing me to think outside the box a little, to be a bit more creative, and think of a way to solve this problem. And I'm kind of playing with that. I'm not there yet, I haven't decided, but what I have come to the conclusion is that I'm okay with this. Was I initially happy with it? No, but I'm so good with it. And the fact that I can just talk about it like this means that whatever my ego and pride, whatever stories were trying to impose upon me in a negative way, they're gone now. So that's really what I want to share with you, is just keep on keeping on, my friends. That's how you're going to improve. That's how you're going to get better. Just keep failing forward, celebrate your successes and wins, and just get at her, because it's the process that matters. The outcome, we leave it to the universe. And if this video has been helpful for you in any way, please comment, like, share, subscribe, pass it on to someone maybe who's struggling creatively or artistically or anything like that. You can also check me out on Seared Stories from the Stove podcast. That is my other YouTube channel. I talk about things from a retired chef's point of view, and I talk about mindset, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to work together, I do coaching. I also do spiritual mentorship. You can find my website and how I work and all the details there. I work with a whole range of people with different issues and challenges, and I really come from a place of soul level of mindset, and we use a lot of creativity. So check that out. And if you're just cruising, if you're just passing through, welcome. Glad you're here. We'll see you next time.